The approach that I had during this pandemic time is both a personal approach for leaders and a corporate approach for the people who are concerned about their people and their staff, or a people strategy that can serve during our failing times. You see, our techniques in business during good times are not totally the same as during failing times. So I have to differentiate that. So failing times, there are more problems or individual levels. Even our leaders themselves have very, I would say, increased aspect of fear, worries, ambiguity, uncertainties, and volatility in their own life. And the more with our rank and file, they have also more stress and difficulties and challenges in their own homes, or also in the strategic point of view on having more online operations rather than in-person services. So I have shifted my approach just to share to you that I have to improve the sales strategy to adapt to failing times. Most people's, like for us as SMEs, we do have to improve our finder's approach, because most likely the sales strategy is the soul of your business. If you don't have sales in your business, you don't have income, and no ROI, you cannot sustain. So sustainability during failing times is a little bit different. It's a little bit more assertive, aggressive, optimistic, but a little more will. So what I added to CEOs and executives and leaders is the need to have the will to exist, the will to succeed, the will to be. That is the first thing that can fail in an organization, be it a leader or individual workforce. The increase of willpower to sustain the challenge of times, either at home or in the workplace. So I have programs for corporations and leaders on willpower development. You can increase love and being nice and pleasantries in sales, but without the will to keep on going, I think leaders today will fail. And that is one of the missing ingredients in any academic training for businesses. When good times happen, you can have a good pedigree and get the right connection and network, and somebody promotes you, you have the right PhD and so on. In failing times, you have to go for handiwork. You have to make it work, whatever it costs. You have to reshift your focus. You have to assess and audit yourself as the leader, where you need to relearn, unlearn, or refocus yourself. So willpower is one of the missing things in the workplace. Even in leadership, that is the first thing that fails. It's not the strategy only. The intelligence can be there. You can be a super intelligent leader, but if your will fades away, you cannot focus and you cannot execute. So the execution gaps in plans and strategies and tactics are due to the lack of willpower. Willpower is the first rung in any great success ahead. So I focus on willpower development for leaders and also the managers and also the people. So stress management is not enough anymore. Before, stress and anxiety management can suffice, but now willpower development is a substitute. Of course, sharpening the mind to be very decisive, to be very tactical, very strategic, very creative, also are important factors in leadership and in the administration levels. But the officers-like quality has to be emphasized. To be an officer, you need to make things work. Failing time, good time, it has to work. So you have to shift also the training of managers to be an OLQ, officers-like quality. We do give services to include a more purposeful life, of a more balanced life in the corporations. To executives, we do get challenges on how to balance their life. It has shifted their life. They have so much uncertainties and volatility that their fear and anxiety has expanded and exacerbated, that they are more preoccupied on their future rather than on their present work. So their mind is like worrying about the future and they cannot focus on the present work. So they have what we call presenteeism, not absenteeism. They're working, but they're not thinking on the moment or not working. And so, of course, the challenges of sleep disorders are happening, the anxiety, the depression, and a lot of this crisis that's happening internally, not just externally. So we have the overt and covert aspect of health management. So healing these things, not just curing them, is a challenge for people who had doctors on location. Big corporates have their own clinic and consultants, but they are only medicating them. You cannot medicate loneliness. You cannot medicate spiritual depression that's not coming from being tired. It's a lot of drain of energy. You cannot just medicate that. So you can heal those things. The psychospiritual problems, you can heal them, but you cannot medicate them, you cannot cure them. So there should be a distinction between the cure of the problems of executives or leaders and the healing of their own internal concerns. That has to be differentiated so that the doctors are not just the employed ones. The healers, the healing scientists, the spiritual masters who are able to coach and mentor executives at a different level, at different bandwidth, are more important now than ever. And redefine what are the strategies during failing time as opposed to the old good times. And total well-being has to be redefined as not the absence only of physical symptoms and diseases. It has to include the physical aspect, the vitality aspect, the emotional aspect, the mental aspect, and the spiritual aspect. So they have to redefine everything, and especially to take care of the top 3% of their staff. The top 3% are the superheroes. The top 20% that produce the 80% of results are the champions. They need to take care of those people, and they cannot fire them, otherwise they lose them to the competition. So I would say boost your vitality, heal your emotions, sharpen your mind, and awaken the power of the soul. We need to integrate that in well-being and wellness programs in corporations as well as individual needs. So self-mastery is the name of the word and the game. Thank you, everyone. You can visit me at masterdelpe.com, masterdelpe.com. We'll be willing to serve you an online free consultation for 20 minutes.